Hello, welcome to MossBank. I'm your host, Xander Thompson of MossBankTV. I've got a lovely guest, Alex, here, who's going to tell us a bit more about himself and what he does. So, Alex, can you explain your role with MossBank?
So I'm Alex Mort. I'm an under-11s Greens football coach, and I'm also the MossBank Juniors emotional wellbeing lead for the club. So it was something that I sort of proposed to Andy a few months back. I work in CAMHS, so every day is I'm looking after young people's emotional well-being. So I thought obviously it's quite an important thing to sort of try and make it all our responsibility in MossBank, really, and make sure that the well-being needs of our children are looked after.
And if anyone had any issues, they could just come to you?
Yeah. So there's potentially two ways of getting through. I've already had a couple of messages over Facebook, just looking for advice, really. Everything that is put to me would be confidential, but I would say it would be to try and get as many people involved to make it everybody's responsibility to look after that young person. So the other way would be to maybe contact Andy or to email the MossBank email, which I'll give at the end, so that we can, obviously, any advice. I'm not here to replace any CAMHS teams, but any signposting and resources and stuff like that, I've got a wealth of knowledge and resources that I can pass on.
That's brilliant. So with this new role, do you feel like people will be able to come to you even more than, say, now?
Well, that would be the aim, because ultimately the club ethos is to sort of a child's happiness is just as important as winning 3 points on a Saturday. So I think we would like that open and transparent channel to me, basically. And it's not just me just giving the advice. I'd be sort of signposting coaches because they know their children better than I would ever know them. So.
Yeah. Well, obviously, with the last 2 years, we've had a COVID pandemic. And obviously coming back into football and sports now, do you feel like this could have affected young people's mental health? Oh,
it's definitely affected mental health. It's not just affected children's mental health, it's affected everybody's. People have been locked away for 2 years. So as the world opens up, it's created a lot of anxieties, especially in social situations, which is what football does. People come down, they have a kick of a ball, but ultimately they've been around other people. And if it's something they've not been used to for the last couple of years, then it's going to create that anxiety. Yeah,
because I know going back into school and the sports that I do within that, I felt like if I didn't perform at a certain level that I was at before the pandemic, I might suffer or I might not be on the team anymore.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, that's our jobs as coaches, isn't it? So we wouldn't just forget about the well-being side is one thing, but as a coach, the FA really promotes that one for all and that safeguarding for all. So it's our job to make sure that young people are comfortable when they play football, the well-being's looked after, and that they're in a sort of a safe and nurturing environment, because ultimately for us to improve things with technique and football, that actually a young person needs to be enjoying themselves first, because the likelihood is if they're enjoying themselves, they're going to throw themselves into whatever sessions the coaches are doing.
Yeah. Obviously, as your role as a coach, do you feel like you can provide a good quality of football to your players?
Yeah. So first and foremost, obviously the reason as to why you get into coaching is because you want to pass on what knowledge you've got. I've got a desire and aspiration to go as high as I can in regards to my coaching badges, and MossBank's a fantastic club for that to happen, because they really promote coaches to do that. And ultimately, the more badges and the more qualifications we do, the better quality coaching the young people will get. But it's also, as a coach, you've got to have that enthusiasm to do that.
Definitely, the drive to help those kids is definitely important. Did you ever play as, when you were younger? Or? So
up until 18 months ago, before I think it was July last year, I messaged Andy over Facebook. Obviously, I'm 34 now, so I was coming towards the back end of my career, or what you would say my playing career. a couple of injuries had started mounting up, and it gets to a point where you sort of look at what the next step is. And obviously I've played at a really good standard as an amateur. I've played at county level as an amateur, so I've won underneath playing for my country. I played semi-professionally at Daisy Hill. I've played at all the really good level amateur sides in Bolton. I think it come to a point where it's the coaching that I've had, it's about them passing it on to the lads of MossBank. And that's what I aim to do.
That's how, especially the county level you mentioned, that's a big achievement. Obviously, what was that like? Were there any pressures? Were there any worries that you had?
Of course there is a pressure, because first of all, to get picked for any representative side, you've got to go through a trial. And obviously the anxiety and nerves that brought, it is going to get that inside. But I'd always say that nerves and anxiety, what it can do is it can make people fight or freeze. So that's just our natural bodies and the way we respond to things. So actually, at that moment in time, you either step up or you struggle. So any situation like that, played in obviously national finals and stuff like that, and that again brings all its pressures. So ultimately, it's about fighting.
Did you win any trophies though?
I've won lots of trophies. They're all up in my mum's loft somewhere.
You've got any medals?
Loads of medals, loads of trophies.
You have to bring a couple in.
I've got my Lancashire cap, which sits proud of place at top of my stairs. It's all framed and stuff like that. Obviously, it's something that I'm really proud of, and hopefully the lads that I coach, I will help, or myself and the other coaches will help them on that journey to get to there as well. Because ultimately, as a coach, you want your lads to surpass what you did in football, and that's what we want for our lads.
To, like you said, bring the knowledge from you to them.
Of course.
Improve them.
Football's been my life from being 5-6 years old, like our lads. Some of our lads have been training with the Little Dragons from being 5. Some of them now. My nephew plays for the Little Dragons. He started training at 3 years old. So obviously, football's a big part of somebody's identity, and actually that's what we want at MossBank. We want to sort of play a part in somebody's journey within football, and ultimately, so trophies and winning things, that's fantastic. But people need to be happy when they're playing football. Obviously, football can be a step away from daily stress. Some lads may come from broken homes.
A paradise.
Of course it is. It is. It's the mecca of grassroots football, isn't it? Obviously, some lads come from broken homes, so not everybody has an idyllic home life. A lot of people have struggles at home, so this can be an escapism for lads, and that's what ultimately football can be. It can be an escape.
I mean, it's for me. I would come home and I'd play FIFA or something with my friends, and then at a football training, I'd be so excited because I'd be able to see the people, that I really enjoy playing football with, and then you got on match days, you got your friends and your family coming to support you.
Of course it is.
It's a big thing.
So is camaraderie important to you? Would you say that being part of a team? And
definitely.
And that's ultimately like, no one person is greater than the sum of its parts. So that means that individuals, as good as they are on their own, if an individual plays on his own, then that individual won't win if a team plays a team. So it's about that, everybody mucking in and working hard for each other.
Camaraderie is definitely a big thing, an ethos, not just for me, but for all of MossBank.
Of course.
We've got a lot of children who want to play. So, I've got some quick fire round questions.
Of course, go on, fire away.
You might not have been told about this. However, okay. Green or blue?
Blue.
Grass or AstroTurf?
Grass.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Okay, this is a big one. The Pavilion or Barlow Park?
Pavilion all day. But to be honest, another story here, the Pavilion was my pitch as an under-11s. So both the Barlow Park, which MossBank, and here, so Barlow Park, the pitch what they play on, was my pitch when we was under 9s and 10s. The Pavilion, that far pitch there, it was an 11-a-side pitch. And under 11s and under 12s was our team there. I played for a team called Oxford Grove. And on the far pitch was the first game I ever played. So we played a school game against Church Road, and that's on the far pitch. That's where I scored my first ever goal in a competitive football game.
Wow.
So I love these
Milestones
pitches.
here.
Of course it is. Yeah, I was brought up here on that cricket club, playing football on here when my mum and dad were on the cricket club. So it's a home away from home. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, speaking of home or away days.
Home, because I get a bacon butty and a brew. That's one of the coach's perks. You don't get paid with volunteers.
Sign up, become a coach now.
You get paid in rashers and tea bags.
That's that. Oh, don't forget the free chocolate bars as well.
Yes. Well, no, we don't get chocolate.
Do you not get chocolate bars?
No. No.
See,
no. I'm trying to watch me figure. The bacon's enough.
You might have to up your price there as a manager. Yeah. Free chocolate bars. So this one might cause some controversy. United or City?
City.
City. I'm neither. I'm a Bolton fan.
I'm a Bolton fan, but I like Pep Guardiola, so
yeah. You can follow him in your managerial career.
Of course I can. I've got the bald head as well, Anna.
So, studs or Astro boots?
Studs. You can't beat. I'm wearing Astros, but you can't beat an original stud.
Yeah, studs. Especially when you go in for the tackle, you've got a bit more bravery. It's like confidence.
Of course you have, Xander.
You've got more grip as you go into the ground.
Of course you have.
So, it's slightly off topic from football, but dogs or cats?
Dogs. Cats are psychopaths. A dog, right? If you were at home on your own, a dog would die. If you died, your dog would be lay next to you, yeah, and your dog would die with you. The cat would eat you.
Really?
Yep.
Is there a paper about that, a scientific paper?
There's probably somewhere, but cats have a more primal instinct, don't they?
Yeah. Maybe not as much as lions.
Mice and rats, don't they? And birds.
So, finally, FA Cup or Champions League? Obviously,
FA Cup.
Historic.
FA Cup. Tradition. Oldest competition in the world.
I mean, how many times have Bolton won it? What, four times?
4 times.
Not for
23. I can't even remember. 29. We got to 3 finals in the 20s.
I think it was 23, 26, 29 and 58.
Yep.
Yeah. A long time before.
Long time before us, but we were in finals before that, so I think we reached a couple of finals in the early 1900s.
The League Cup as well, we've had a good run.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're in League One now, so we're getting back there.
Well, the only way is up, trusting Ian Evatt and the process. This is what we do at MossBank. Yeah. Sometimes we might not get the results on the pitch that we've wanted this season, but the aim is to get to somewhere. It's trusted the process.
That's a big thing, obviously, because growth is huge, and especially linking back to mental health, helping you to become not a better person, but
so our aim is to develop good footballers or better footballers, but to also develop good men, good girls, good human beings. They all run along. Characters. You've got to have a bit of character, but nice, good people who will go on. Us as coaches, Andy as chairman, we're there to be role models.
Thank you.
Love the meeting.
Pleasure having you on. So that's the first episode of MossBankTV interviews. Hope you enjoyed.